We've just got some economic numbers out, some retail numbers for March. The economic advisor at Judo Bank, Warren Hogan, he joins us regularly. He's with us now. What do the numbers show? Has there been a drop-off in consumer demand, Warren?
Yeah, so hi, Kieran. Retail sales down 0.4 in the month. Mark was expecting a small rise. Apparently, the Taylor Swift effect, which had boosted sales in Victoria and New South Wales in February, was reversed. Retail sales in Queensland, WA, looking okay. But the picture it's painting is still pressure on household budgets, particularly in New South Wales and Victoria. And this, of course, is a number that's skewed towards goods and discretionary spend. So consumers are remaining very cautious as of March, and it doesn't look like this strong employment growth that we've seen so far this year is translating into much of a pickup in consumer spending yet.
So how does that feed into the RBA deliberations?
Yeah, so in terms of the policy meeting next week, I think this just sort of confirms that they're not really in a position to do anything. They are obviously going to be looking at those stronger than expected inflation numbers, but I don't think that's enough to get them seriously thinking about hiking rates. But this overall picture that we're seeing emerging of the economy of sticky inflation, and apart from the retail spending, the rest of the economy doing a lot better so far this year than last year, is I still think we need to be wary of the fact that rates could go up a bit at some stage later in the year. So I don't think this changes that story. But yeah, the RBA will be on hold next week.
And just to get you to elaborate, because it is such a blunt instrument, isn't it, interest rates? And you've generated quite a reaction with your suggestion that the RBA might have 3 more rate hikes. I guess the problem with such a blunt instrument is, and you and I have discussed this many times, is that there's a cohort with the variable mortgages now that are copping it, but there are others who don't have mortgages who are well off and benefiting from the higher rates, and their expenditure isn't affected. In fact, probably spending more. So it's a real division within our economy right now, and a lot of people, as you know well, are hurting.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. And it's a very uneven economy. And that's not just in terms of that sort of intergenerational issue. It's in different geographies. New South Wales, Victoria looks softer than the rest of the country. It's in the business community. We've got insolvencies rising, yet many businesses are in the best financial position they've ever seen. It makes it diabolical for the RBA to work out what is the right interest rate for the economy. All they can do, though, is make that assessment that what they've got to do is get that rate to the level that'll get inflation down, get this cost of living crisis behind us. So, it looks like things are on track, but I still am worried that they may have to tap on the brakes a few times because the economy overall is still doing okay.
Yeah, indeed. And that's the last thing we need, is to see a refueling of inflation. So this is the context with which Dr. Chalmers will be delivering his next budget in 2 weeks from 2 weeks from today. We'll see you here at Parliament, Warren, and this is the way he's got to frame these numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, and then look, it was looking like the sort of the balance shifting towards supporting growth as much as fighting inflation wasn't such a bad idea earlier in the year, but the last couple of months, the inflation has to remain number one priority, and I think that does put some constraints on them. I think the broader community will feel that if they start throwing money around and then we do get rate hikes later in the year, they'll draw that connection. So the government's been disciplined, I think, so far in the last couple of years, and they need to keep that discipline up in this budget, despite the fact it's a pre-election budget and they probably feel like they want to spend some money.
Yeah, well, good on you for calling it as you see it, not just making the easy calls. That's why we love chatting to you, Warren. Appreciate it. Thanks.